Good morning, everyone, and welcome to DP Overland. So we had a very, very long day yesterday, going from Silverton up and over Schofield Pass and down into Lake City. We were lucky enough to find this camp spot. We hunted and hunted and hunted for some wilderness camping, but here in Colorado it's a little bit more different than in Wyoming. That's all I can say. So today's push, we've got time. We're only going about 100 miles and it's all going to be on highway, and so we're going to take our time in camp and eat a good breakfast, and then we're going to be heading to Crested Butte, and then just outside of Crested Butte is going to be our camp spot and our next trail. So stay tuned.
Not the best campsite that we've ever stayed at, but it was about 9 o'clock when we found this place, so we managed to squeeze all three of us into this tight little area, and you know what? It gave us a place to crash. Well, we're going to make a nice hearty pancake breakfast before we take off and start heading to Crested Butte. After having a delicious breakfast, it was time for us to head north. We headed north out of Lake City on Highway 149, and our next destination was going to be Gunnison, Colorado. Well, let's settle in as we enjoy the drive along the Lake Fork River. It was quite enjoyable seeing all the old homesteads and farms as we were traveling along. This area was rich with history of miners coming in to strike it rich and families coming in and homesteading to start a new life. So what do you do to pass the time when traveling long distance? For me and my family, we like to listen to audiobooks, and if we feel like it really engages us all together and helps pass the time as we travel.
Branches crunching. She and Seth followed the satyr. The satyr slid into the bush Kendra had crouched behind earlier. Kendra and Seth dove in alongside him. An instant after they ducked out of sight, a bulky, hideous woman lumbered into view and approached the well. She had a broad, flat...
Well, after a short drive, wasn't too terribly long, we landed in Crested Butte, and it's a ski lodge town. Lot of mountain biking, which is pretty cool to see. But gas here so far has been the highest on our overlanding trip at $3.98 a gallon. That has been the highest so far. So our plan is to take off.
We're heading up there.
That's where camp's going to be. And then from there, we will be traveling over a pass. And I looked it up last night. We are heading towards what they say, Colorado's toughest trail. We will be going by the Devil's Bowl. Pinch Bowl, I think is what it's called. Devil's Pinch Bowl. But I'm excited. So let's get out of this craziness and we'll head up to camp. And it'll be our second wilderness camp on this trip so far. So I'm looking forward to it. We are just kind of itching to get away from the busyness and the people.
After fueling up the tanks, it was time to head up the mountain. And boy, we are looking forward to getting back on the dirt. Well, as we were heading up the mountain, we were driving through these aspen tree growths, and man, were they beautiful. The scenery was amazing, and the whole time when we were traveling up here, we were thinking to ourselves, man, we got to come back to this area in the fall and see these trees when they're all that golden yellow color. What a beautiful drive so far, and looks like everybody else is out enjoying it with us. Well, it is time for us to start hunting for a campsite, and we have a few picked out on the map, so let's see if we can't find a campsite that's going to work out for us. So we have been actively looking for a camp spot for about 45 minutes now, but for some reason we cannot find a place to camp. We pulled into a few campgrounds that for some reason all the campsites were closed, and this is like primal camp season. We did have a local advise us that we needed to go all the way to the top of the pass in order to be able to camp. Otherwise, rangers are coming by and ticketing everybody who are camping in the campgrounds. So that was the plan. We were going to push all the way to the top and find ourselves a campsite, hopefully. Even though we weren't having much luck with finding a place to camp, the scenery was absolutely amazing, and to our surprise of seeing this vibrant blue lake called Emerald Lake was truly spectacular to watch as we were driving by. The drive so far hasn't been challenging at all, and it's actually been quite enjoyable. But we did come to this one section of road that was absolutely horrible with dust. For about a half a mile, we had to deal with bull dust, and poor Grant in the back was just getting the brunt of it. Sorry, Grant. We were trying to drive slow for you, buddy, but no matter what we did, this stuff was just absolutely horrible.
Well, after about half a day of driving from Lake City to Crested Butte, we finally found camp. Oh my gosh, is it hard to find campsites in Colorado, people. It's ridiculous. We were in campgrounds, a campsite, and we couldn't camp there. It was ridiculous. And it's prime season for camping right now. But anyways, so we have made it up and over Schofield Pass, and now our next adventure is to head down, but we are heading down towards the Devil's Pinch Bowl, which I guess is the hardest trail in Colorado. And I don't know if it's more technical wise, like boulders and stuff, but I think it's just more of the fear factor of what's next to you. So we're gonna eat some grub, chill for the evening, because we really haven't had a chance to do that, and talk about around the campfire if we're gonna tackle Colorado's hardest trail.